Dear racing fans, we've been waiting for you. We've been working, prepping, training, putting together thrilling races, high stakes, favorite traditions, and fresh experiences. From right on the rail to the top of the hill. Whether it's your first meet or your 50th, we can't wait to welcome you back this fall. Love, Keeneland.
And a good evening, everyone. Jeremy Plonk here from Horse Player Now. Welcome to the Keeneland Look Ahead podcast. Day 14 of 17 is upon us as closing week is here. Week number 4 on tap. And boy, we've got the crazy train to follow from week number 3. Will things settle down in the 4th week of the Keeneland meet? The stats say maybe not. Keep in touch with some of these long shot plays. Last week, 46 races at Keeneland. 11 winners were 10-1 or more. 24% of the races going to horses 10-1 or more. The stat said 13% would be about the number. It was higher than we expected. Of course, average at Keeneland, as I've told you over the years, is about 9% of the races at 10-1 or more. We were almost triple that with the output of long shots during week number 3. Week number 4 statistics tell you it's about the same as week number 3 during a fall meet at Keeneland. So if the trends continue, we'll have another big week of long shots. Certainly, we're looking for some prices historically here. Again, 13% winners historically here during a week number 4 of the meet as well are 10-1 or more. Why did we get so many big prices last week? Well, part of it was who was winning the races as much as anything else. 46 races last week, 40 different trainers won. Steve Asmussen had a big week with 5. No other trainer had more than 2. There were 2 trainers. Mike Tomlinson, who you don't expect, he had 2 shorter priced winners, and then 2 winners from Brendan Walsh. Brad Cox didn't even have 2 wins on the week. Wesley Ward didn't have 2 wins on the week. Mike Maker didn't. Kenny McPeak didn't. I mean, 40 different trainers won the 46 races, and that's why we had a bit of chaos on the tote board last week. Steve Asmussen's 5 wins included 3 with the 2-year-olds. We'll have an eye on him in some 2-year-old races coming up on the Wednesday program. Again, day 14 of 17 on tap. See what we can do with these performances over the final 4 days of racing and how we can sort them out and finish strong here from a handicapping standpoint at the meet. Bad day for me at the office on Sunday. I took the duck on a day only the Ducks enjoyed. Sloppy track, washed everything around, and my picks just did not perform whatsoever. Worst day of the meet for me, so we're due for a bounce back. We've got a couple key plays for you, 3 in fact on this 8-race card. Let's show you how it lines up on an 8-race program at Keeneland in terms of the wagering. Here is the snapshot of the card as we look at the pick 5 starting in race number 1. Races 1 through 5, the early pick 5. The late pick 5 will be races 4 through 8. So that means race 4 is going to include both the early and late pick 5. Race 4 and 5 are also key races you got to look at in terms of the pick 4, because the early pick 4 is going to be races 2 through 5. The late pick 4 are going to be races 5 through 8. So race 4, everything runs through it. Race 5, most everything runs through it. Pick 6 carryover, 24,000 going into closing weekend. Nobody hit it on Sunday. I believe it was 370,000, something like that for the pick 5. Just crazy prices last week. We had 2 payoffs of $200,000 plus last week in the exotic wagers. The late pick 4 again will be races 5 through 8. Toyota Super High 5 is going to wrap things up. Pick the top 5 finishers in order. $11,000 in the carryover there. I've got key plays in races 3, 4, and 7. And when you got a key play in race number 4 on this kind of configuration for a card, that is a really good sign because you've got a chance maybe to potentially single in there or keep it really limited in your multi-race bets. And that gives you a chance with your wagering options to really budget nicely or weight accordingly and put more money on the ones that you like. And that's what you want to do in this game. So let's go to the Wednesday card. 8 races on the program. Again, first post coming up at 1 o'clock. Here are the picks from the Handicappers Consensus at Keeneland.com. You can download this easy print function as well and check out the picks from all the handicappers at Keeneland for this Thursday card. Scott Hazelton, Tom Leach, myself, Kim Nelson, all with our picks. Let's start things off in the opener. Race number 1 is Manage Expectations. Even money on Nick Tamaro's morning line. I think this horse is a fresh face to a group that all rematch from September 26th, Churchill Downs race 3. The 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th place finishers from that race are all back. They couldn't run down a wire-to-wire winner in that race who hasn't run back yet. Not quite sure what to do with all those horses on the run back. So number one, Manage Expectations is a fresh face to that cast, and it's come off of 2 good races in a row for Paul McGee. High percentage trainer, hasn't started many at the meet. I'll take the one, Manage Expectations, but not a wild play here at even money, and not a horse that I really want to be backing strongly for sure at even money. But number 3, Eyes of Gold at 20-1 in the morning line could certainly juice up the exotics. Kim Nelson's got that one picked on top as an upset pick in here. Trainer Matt Sims had a good meet with limited starters. You get blinkers on added to this runner. Poor efforts over the Keeneland track last April, a poor effort over the track, but prior to that has run pretty well here at Keeneland with a couple third-place finishes. Second start off the layoff. This could be a good form cycle move here for a horse who really moved up second start off the layoff in terms of buyer speed figure, went up 10 points in a July-August 2024 situation. So Isaac Gold can move forward off of that race last time out. Good price, 30-1 in the morning line. That would be our 20-1 in the morning line. 1-3 exacta, probably the way to shake things out here for me. The 8 in here on my way to save the day. Also worth considering in here. Should be pressing the pace under Tyler Gaffleone. Top jockey here at a mile and a 16th. Certainly, I think the 1, the 3, the 8 are all worth plays in here. The 2 Animal Fries as a horse didn't show a lot here at Keeneland against Tougher in the October 2024 appearance, but has shown early speed with a good inside draw. I think there are more options in here. I wouldn't get wild about settling on the even money shot in here. And in terms of multi-race wagers, we know I've got key plays coming up a little bit on the card shortly. So in terms of an early pick 5, I would use multiple horses in this race, not settle on the even money favorite. And if we beat the even money favorite in here, which I think the relative chances of doing so are decent considering the price, I do not think this horse is a 50-50 proposition. Manage Expectations. So use several in here, 1, 3, 8, 2, maybe to get through the opener and maybe knock off that favorite. Second race on the card. Up next, the early pick 4 starts in this race. Maiden special weights going a mile and a 16th on the main track in here. And favorites have done really well in these races over the years. 26 out of 49 2-year-old maiden specials going long on the dirt. But we did have a couple prices last week, 18-1, 21-1. Not what you expect in these races. So will we get back to some semblance of form in here? We'll find out. Number 3, Classic Guide is going to be my top choice in here. Tyler Gaffleone rides, and I think this horse has a chance with an inside draw to run really well. The question will be the surface. Now, Classic Empire the Sire was a 2-year-old stakes winner over the main track here at Keeneland during his racing career. You get blinkers on the first time for Classic Guide. Good race coming out of that third-place finish last out at Kentucky Downs. When you figure the winner that day, Imagination the Lady, has already come back here to win the Jessamine Stakes at the meet. We talk about Gaffleone, his success at a mile and a 16th. He could have the double in here. He's got the 8 in the opener. He's got 3 in here. Classic Guide should get a really good trip. Much speed from 1 or the 2 in here. So Classic Guide should be able to blinkers on for the first time. 3, 6, 9, the way I've got them lined up in race number 2. Classic Glide, also the top pick for Kim and Scott. So we're 4-1 in the morning line. The chances of actually getting that 4-1 probably are reduced. We're probably looking at a shorter price than the 4-1 if 3 out of the 4 of us are leaning on the same horse. Now, much like race number 1, I got a long shot in the second spot to watch out for. Number 6, Lexico. This horse is a situation where trainer Whit Beckman's a positive ROI with 2-year-olds, with horses moving turf to dirt and stretching out from sprint to route. There's a lot to like about this one. And this horse fits the conditions nicely. This is one of those sales restricted races where horses had to sell for $65,000 or less at public auction. This one sold for $60,000. Good even sprint efforts in 2 tries. A lot of times even running sprinters stretch out to a route and run well. So I've got this one 3, 6, 9, and 7. The 9 struck at midnight, certainly fits off a good career debut. The 7, no room for mischief. Maybe one that we can maybe try to sneak out of there if you don't want to get too deep in here in terms of going 4 deep in a 10-horse field. But again, I've got some key plays coming up on here. So I think once again, this is a situation. 3, 6, 9, and 7 are all usable. I could go 4x4 here to start the early pick 5 and not feel too bad about it. The 3 Classic Guide going to be my top choice though, but the 6 Lexico could pop at a price here, and then you'd be looking at a really nice early pick 5 or the start to the early pick 4. We've got non-winners of 2 lifetime claimers in race number 3 coming up next in the third race. This 6 furlong sprint, one of my 3 key plays on the card. Let's take a look at the way things line up here with my key plays. They're going to be in races 3, 4, and 7. So again, we're kind of going deep in the early pick 5 and pick 4 in the first 2 legs, but I think we can narrow down here a bit in the next 2 legs, and we're going to try to attack here. There are 2 horses I'm really leaning on in race number 3. Starts the $24,000 pick 6 carryover, and that's number 4, Colonel Caliente, and number 3, Brave Blend. Colonel Caliente is a horse who won for a 50,000 maiden claiming 2 starts back. The first try against Winners at Churchill was a good one because the winner that day, Dive Bomber, already came back here at Keeneland and not in an easy condition, won a starter allowance upon the return back on October 11th. I think Colonel Caliente is coming out of a good race for trainer Mike Maker. Tyler Gaffalione rides. Gaffalione's live in the first 3 on the card. Colonel Caliente is going to be my top choice in here. The 3, Brave Blend, though, keep an eye on this one. First time at Keeneland for Brave Blend, been knocking on the door with Gabe Saez, Julian Leperoux riding. Now they go to Irad Ortiz, first off the claim for Ken Sweezy, beaten favorite in 3 straight, but Ortiz could get the horse over the top. But the real reason to like Brave Blend in here in race number 3, sire Omaha Beach. What a meet he is having as a sire. He's one of those sires to watch that we told you coming into the meet, the Practical Jokes, the Omaha Beaches, those kind, Nyquist. But Omaha Beach this meet, 12 starters on the dirt, 5 winners, a second and a third place finish. The Omaha Beaches are all running well. Brave Blend has not been over this main track before. So if people are kind of against this horse based on past times being the beaten favorite at other tracks, now you get Irad. Now you get a situation where the Omaha Beach pedigree might move this horse up on the main track at Keeneland. So Brave Blend going to be my other key in here. So 4-3, I'm going to really attack this race 2 deep. I'm going to play a lot of exacta plays, 4 and 3 in here. A chance to knock what I think could be a $25, $30 potential exacta in here in race number 2. We've got a big enough field size with the 9-horse field. If we can get around $25 either way on this exacta, I really like this. 5-2, 9-2 the prices. 4-3 for me in race number 3, and I feel pretty solid about that. I look around at the other handicappers, and they're going other directions in here, which in this case I like. The 1 Lambo, top choice for Kim. The 5 Tomcat Tuesday for Tom Leach, and Guardian, the top choice in here for Scott. So they're all going different directions in here, but I feel good about the 4-3. Colonel Caliente, Brave Blend, just 2 deep in the multi-race wagers in this 9-horse field. And again, a solid exacta play, 4-3, maybe a little heavier one direction or the other if you have a strong opinion on them. But I kind of like them the same in here. So I'm going to be a straight exacta box as, a cold exacta box, however you want to call it. But 4-3, 3-4 in equal weights is the way I see it, and that's the way I'm going to be playing it. So let's go from one of our key plays of the day to another key play of the day. We've got maiden specials here in race number 4. Elder maiden specials going a mile on the turf. This is the situation with older horses here in the fall at Keeneland. Not the same craziness we see in some of the races with the 2-year-old maiden specials going along. The older horses, they've held their own with favorites, but they are underperforming for sure at 15 for 55. So about 30% winning favorites. You don't have to settle on a short price in these races. Average winner about 5.8 to 1. Again, not as crazy as the 2-year-old maiden specials, but these elder maiden specials have been pretty good gambling races in finding some horses at fair odds. Let's go to our top pick in here at 12 to 1 in the morning line. Going to be number 8, Mary's Lad. And I'm going to be very bold here with Mary's Lad. 12 to 1 in the morning line. My second of 3 key plays on the card. And I'm going all in for Mary's Lad in this spot. Last time out at Kentucky Downs was coming off the layoff. Now second off the layoff. I like the form cycle. Beer Run, the winner in that race, came back here October 16th and ran a really good third in a lounge company. So a big step in class for Beer Run last time. Ran third, beating a nose and a neck here at Keeneland on October 16th. I think the 3, Clear the Beach, and the 8, Mary's Lad, both come out of a very, very live race. Good even sprint running lines for Mary's Lad at Kentucky Downs last time. I think stretches out to a mile and a great price. Clear the Beach is 9-2 coming out of the same race. I love the price difference with the 8, Mary's Lad. I think we get great value there, and I'm all in. Race number 4. I'm going to make a bold single in here. On the island, nobody else has the 8 in their top selection. Scott's got the runner in their second. He's also going to Clear the Beach on top, so he's looking at that race potentially as key. I just think the difference between the 2 and the second off the layoff, where Mary's Lad was on the break last time at Kentucky Downs, I think you make the difference and make up that length and 3/4 that we need to make up. And when you look at the price between 9-2, 4.5 to 1, and 12 to 1 on Clear the Beach versus Mary's Lad, I think Mary's Lad just tremendous value. I think it's a live race. Give me the 8, second off the layoff, 12-1 in the morning line, and I'm going to make it a bold single in the multi-race wagers. And if I can separate with a horse who's 12-1 in the morning line, when you look at race number 4, the pick 5 runs through there in the early pick 5, the early pick 4 runs through there, the late pick 5 runs through race number 4. So there's a lot cooking in race number 4, and I think we've got a price shot in there. 8, Mary's Lad, 12-1 in the morning line. Ben Curtis, Whit Beckman. I think we'll get a fair price there in race number 4. Let's go to the 5th race next up on the program. Race number 5 is a maiden special going 7 furlongs for the 2-year-old fillies in this particular spot. Some fun pedigree, some good-looking horses in here that have some prospect potential for you, no question about that. Field of 12 with some also eligible, so we're looking at a pretty capacity lineup in this one. We talked about Steve Asmussen having such a good week last week. 5 wins for Steve Asmussen last week, 3 of them with 2-year-old maiden special weights. So this is the spot where he really had a good hand to play last week. Again, none of the other trainers had a big week except Steve last week. He's got the 8 in here, Mojo Promise, a horse who makes the career debut, $500,000 daughter of Into Mischief. Number 8, Mojo Promise at 12-1. Certainly got to consider that one at a price and the way the Asmussen 2-year-olds all ran last week. He's got 5 wins in Fal Meet in these 7 furlong 2-year-old maiden specials over the years. A category where he and Brad Cox are 1 and 2. Brad Cox has 8 wins, Asmussen 5, top in this category. Cox right next door with number 7, Sticker Shock. So 2 barns that are very proficient with these 7 furlong 2-year-old maiden specials in the fall. Cox and Asmussen together 7 and 8 in the starting gate here in race number 5. But the 10 theoretical is going to be my top choice in here. This is a daughter of Nyquist. Nyquist is a sire, one you have to just almost flatly look and respect everything that the Nyquist put on the track here at Keeneland. First time over the track for this horse, who was a debut 4th behind Counting Stars, and which was a pretty good 2-year-old race. So here in race number 5, I'm going in with the 10 theoretical as my top choice. Sticker Shock, the first-time starter, is the top pick for everybody else in this race. And again, Brad Cox, you can understand that, but Cox only 1 win last week. His barn has been good this meet at Keeneland, but not dominant. We'll see. Usually week 4 of the meet, Brad Cox unloads. I mean, he's got 19 winners the last 4 years during week 4 of the meet. No other trainers got more than 11. In fact, Wesley Ward has 11, and then Kenny McPeak and Brendan Walsh each have 8. Eddie Keneally with 7. So if you're looking for trainers who win the most races week 4 the last 4 years at Keeneland, Brad Cox with 19 really unloads the barn. You got to watch out for him in these particular spots. He does well with the first-time starters late in the meet, too. So keep that in mind. Brad Cox, 9 first-time starter winners in week 4s at Keeneland in recent years. So that makes a lot of sense why Sticker Shock picked on top by some of the others in here. I like Sticker Shock. I've got it 10-2, 1, 7, 8. I think there are 5 different ways you can go in this particular spot. That's why I want to single with Mary's Lad so much in race number 4. 1, because I think we're getting great value. We're only 2 deep in race number 3. So we got 4, 4, 2, 1, and then we can go 4 or 5 deep in this spot because I think there are some really good options. Number 1, Queenstown. Owen Hardy trains this daughter of Street Sense. The Dam is a half to Folklore, Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner. I mean, that's a win early pedigree, top and bottom, right? I mean, Sire won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. The Dam's a half sister to Folklore, who won the Juvenile Fillies. 2, Joke Maker by Practical Joke, dropping out of the Pocahontas Stakes, was 3rd in the stakes race for Rudy Brisset last time. The Practical Jokes run well here over the main track at Keeneland. The 2 is very playable in this spot. So 10, 2, and 1, all horses that I've got some feeling for. The 7 and 8 are the 2 connections that have been most prolific in these 7 furlong races in recent years. So over the years at Keeneland with the 2-year-olds. So I think there's 5 good options in race number 5. 10, 2, 1, 7, 8. Spread. Get good coverage. There are good options. This isn't like one of those where you're making default picks in race number 5. You've got good chances with those runners, and you get some good horses behind the races that you're trying to spread in. We go from our pick 4 starter in race number 5 to the 6th race on the card. Feature race here is a 6 furlong allowance, 2nd level allowance race in this particular spot. Legalize might be the horse in here who kind of fits this race best. When we get these 6 furlong allowance races in the fall, what we've seen a lot historically is the Churchill horses are good in here. You want to find horses coming out of sprint races, not trying to cut back in distance, and horses with some recent starts. You got some layoffs to worry about in this race. In fact, there have been 14 second level allowance races in the fall at Keeneland like this at 6 furlongs. All 14 won by horses who had a race in August or September, not big layoff types. So when you look through this field of 6, the layoffs are everywhere, right? Number 1, Keep It Easy, hasn't run since May. The 4, Beeline, who I like a lot on paper, hasn't run since March. The 5, Tough Catch, hasn't run since January. And the 8, One True Chance, hasn't run since February. So you've got 4 major layoffs in this 10-horse field in here. I think the horse who's got the most form-fitting for historical trends in this race, certainly number 2, Legalized, would be the horse to beat in here. Again, coming out of a Churchill sprint with a recent effort. A lot points to Legalize in here, and this one makes a second off the layoff start, which I like. And when you look at second off the layoff, Legalize won the second career start. So from training to getting a race to moving to the winner's circle, it's the same form cycle looking to repeat with number 2, Legalize. Certainly like that one a lot in terms of the trends. I'm going to use a couple other in here, and I think the 4 and the 10. The 10 isn't coming off a layoff, but I think the 10's got a shot in here to run an improved race. Last time out, ran a really big number, yet wasn't competitive. How strong was that race to be 22-1 in last time for Classify? So Hugh Robertson's got one in here who runs back on just 18 days rest. Again, we usually average about a winner or 2 a day. About 4 winners over the course of closing weekend here will be horses who have run back a second time at the Keeneland meet, or I should say about 2 per week. So, we'll get 1 or 2 here the first day or 2, 1 or 2 in the second few days, running back second time at the meet. But, the average for that is 8 run backs over the last 4 years. So maybe Classifies one who could run back second time at the meet and show improvement. Again, that was a tough race last time. This looks to be a little bit easier of a spot. And this horse is running back on 18 days rest. The last 2 times that Hugh Robertson ran this horse back on 2 weeks rest, even a little bit less than this, the horse went to the winner's circle. So the 10 Classify certainly has a good shot in here. I do have a horse off a layoff picked on top on here. I really like the workout tab for Beeline in here, the Riley Mott trainee. This horse is back class, won the Hutchison Stakes last year. He's only had 2 starts in 2025, ran against Nash Chisler. Really good bounce race there at Turfway Park in March before going on the bench. But the workout tab is really sharp. At 6 furlongs, you think you shouldn't have to be that fit. But again, the layoff horses haven't had a lot of success in these spots. So a Beeline, my top choice, also Tom's top choice. But I really want to use the 10 and the 2 in here as well. 4, 10, and 2, I think 3 deep in this particular spot is the way to go in race number 6. Again, some pretty good options at what could be some fair prices in there to take a look at. The 10 Classify picked on top by Scott. One True Chance, the 8, is the top choice for Kim. Let's go now to the 7th race on this Wednesday card. A mile and a 16th on the main track. These are 2-year-old allowance runners, 2-year-old turf allowance routers. We've had 15 of these races in the fall. In the past, favorites are 5 for 15, but 4 winners have been 10-1 or more. So when we get these 2-year-olds going long on the turf, there's potential for price to get the maiden special weights. And again, this is a pretty good one. So in the 7th race, a horse to watch for me at 6-1 in the morning line is number 10 Screen Test. Going to be my 3rd and final key play on the card. This race number 7 could get us rolling with a single to the back end of this pick 4 and pick 5, because I'm all in on Screen Test here. Graham Motion, the trainer, 9 starts in these races with 2-year-old allowance turf routers. He's one of only 2 trainers to win multiple races. He's got 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a 3rd from those 9 races in 2-year-old turf routes here in the fall meet. You say, well, why he's bringing this one in from Laurel. I don't want to play a Laurel horse at Keeneland. Motion's other winners came in from Monmouth and overseas, so they have not been, from the blue blood local circuits that you would expect. Not Saratoga shippers, not a Kentucky Downs or Churchill type horse. He's done it kind of off Broadway already. But the main reason that I like Screen Test in here is the sire Not This Time on the turf. We've talked about it all meet. 7 wins for Not This Time on the turf, dominating with the 2-year-olds on the grass. It's a blind bet at this point. If you didn't like the form of Screen Test, if you didn't like the stats behind Graham Motion in these kind of races, if you didn't like the fact that these races can produce a little bit of a price over the years, you'd still want to just look at Screen Test based strictly on what we have seen from the Not This Time offspring. Jose Ortiz is going to ride. I'm all in. I'm signaling here in race number 7. And I'm going with the 10 horse. Screen Time is my top choice. As for the other handicappers across the way, Screen Test is the top choice for Scott in here as well. The 11 Memorize, who's my second choice, is the top pick for Tom and for Kim. 10, 11, the way to go in this spot. The 11 Memorize. Chad Brown, what a meet he's had in terms of bad luck. 14 starts at the meet for Chad Brown. He's over, but he's got 7 second-place finishes. Mesmerized? Why not? Pencil him in second once again. Hope the public overbet to Chad Brown. Irad Ortiz charge in here, and that could help us keep the price on Screen Test. 10, 11 to me, a cold exacta in this spot. The 12 War Madam, maybe you work that one in second as well. Madison Myers has the win at the meet already with the stakes runner. He's got a 2-year-old filly here by Mendelssohn. The Mendelssohns love the turf here at Keeneland, so the 9 War Madam, the other underneath for me. 11 or 10, 11, and 10, 9. Away I'm attacking this race in terms of intra-race plays, and I am singling the 10 Screen Test, going all in here for the late pick 4 and the late pick 5. Let's go to the final race on the card, race number 8 on an 8-race program, $11,000 carryover in the Toyota Super High 5 wager. We've got older main track horses here, Geldings and Colts, a 3-year-old maiden special for the elders going 6 furlongs. We don't get a lot of these at 6 furlongs in the fall, 13 of them. Favorites are 7 for 13. No horses turn back route the sprint, so when you're handicapping this race, make sure you rely on those coming out of the sprint ranks. In race number 8, my top choice is going to be number 7, Valiant Humor, 20-1 in the morning line. This one by Practical Joke adds blinkers. I like the practical jokes over this racetrack. And if you look at Valiant Humor's race back here in April, this was the best maiden special weight race I saw the entire April meet here at Keeneland. The one won by Big Truz. Of course, Big Truz has gone on to become a graded stakes winner. A really good-looking 3-year-old second-tier horse in the stakes ranks. He's not up there with Sovereignty and those kind, but Big Truz fits in with the bracket busters and the good second-level 3-year-olds out there. Big Truz's win here was really eye-popping in the spring meet at Keeneland. Third place finish behind that runner for the top pick in here, Valiant Humor. Gets blinkers on for the first time. 20-1 in the morning line. I think there's a lot to like in here at what could be a fair price. Nobody else has Valiant Humor in their top 3. I know the horse is running maiden claimers in the last couple. Claimed 2 starts back. Now Shelly Radosevich will try to get the blinkers on this horse for the first time. I think there's some decent back form, obviously, for this Brad Cox trainee. Everybody's off because of the trainer change, but stepping back up into class, I think, is pretty significant in this race to protect this horse off a good race at Churchill, or off a bad race at Churchill last time on a muddy track. I think back on a fast track, Valiant Humor, interesting at a price. Now, 20-1 might be on my key plays, but I don't think this horse has any major advantage, but I think as a practical joke, has run well over this racetrack. I think the horse is worthy of a play at 20-1. The other practical joke in this race to watch is number 3, El Prestigio. This is a Steve Asmussen trainee. Again, Asmussen won 5 races last week at the track. He also has the 2 in here, Homer's Odyssey. So 7, 3, 1, and 2, the way I'm wrapping it up. What's new comes from way off the pace for trainer Jimmy DeVito. Running back 19 days rest. Second start at the meet. Ran pretty well here last time over the 7 furlong trip. 6 looks a little short. I can't take a very short price there. So in terms of the multi-race wagers in here, I'm kind of content on taking the 2 practical jokes, the 7 and the 3. We're going to try to get by with a 20-1 and a 4-1 here to wrap up the card. Others picked on top, the 1 for Kim, the 3 for Scott, Tom, and the 1 also picked on top here for Scott. So 2 for the 1, the 3 goes to Tom, and I'm on the island with number 7, Valiant Humor. 20-1 in the morning line. Let's get one of these practical jokes in, and why not get the big bopper, right? I mean, we talked about it last week. I mean, 24% of the races last week going to horses 10-1 or more. You can't be afraid to take a price at this Keeneland meet this fall. It's been, a good run for prices. I mean, you absolutely have to consider, if you like a horse at a big number, that you don't get afraid of it. It's not a situation of the public knows, the cause know, whatever. The prices have been there in some of these spots. I haven't been able to catch a lot of them for sure, but we can still fire at them here over the last week of the meet. Don't look at the horses dead on the board, as they like to say, and think that they don't have any shot. That has not been the case at Keeneland during this 2025 fall meet. That's going to wrap up the preview for day 14 of 17. Be sure to check in tomorrow morning with me in the 11, 12 o'clock hour as I come back on social media on X at the Keeneland Racing feed and at Horse Player Now to give you my updated analysis. You can also get my updated picks and any changes that come up after scratches are announced. During the 11 o'clock hour, generally, I send out the Substack, jeremyplonk.substack.com. Sign up for that, the free Substack. There's also going to be a lot of Breeders' Cup information coming through that, racing from around the country throughout the rest of the year. So even if you just follow Keeneland now and other tracks throughout the rest of the season, you want to sign up for that free Substack, be sure to do so. I'll be back tomorrow night to preview the Thursday card at Keeneland, 8:30 Eastern each and every night before the next day's races. We've got 4 days left at Keeneland. Make the most of them. Good night, everybody.